Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Stream Alpha and I am back with a new video on PyNSC. PyNSC, as the name suggests, is a Python library that helps you to get publicly available real-time and historical data from NSC website in a very efficient way. NSC website is a very good source of information for traders and investors. And if you can get this information into Python in a standardized format to analyze whether you are backtesting or doing EOD analysis, that definitely solves a major hurdle for the beginners and puts them a load ahead from other market participants. PyNS is a feature-rich library and its features include most of the data such as historical data, real-time codes, option chain, top gainers, top losers, pre-open data. Most of this data is very useful if you are trading price action strategies, especially top gainers, top losers and pre-open data. The features and methods that are available in PyNSC are not available in other libraries, and it uses fewer calls to get the data, thereby minimizing the traffic and enhancing the speed, which is must if you are backtesting or live trading, because one failed call and it will mess up the complete trading system if errors are not being handled well. How it is actually doing this, that we will see in this video as we go. So today in this video I will explain the complete installation and in-depth usage instructions along with hidden tips and tricks. Basically not only what's written in the documentation but what's beyond that and how you can use this data to improve your trading. Make sure you watch this video completely till the end, and if you face any difficulty let me know in the comments. I will be happy to help. So let's begin with the installation. Installation of PyNSC is fairly simple and it can be installed using pip from the GitHub repo. Minimum requirement for PyNSC is Python 3.7. Launch the command prompt on Windows or terminal if you are using Linux system. Activate the environment if you already have Python 3.7 or above, or create a new one if Python version on your system is below 3.7. You can see that Python version on my system is 3.8 and I am good to go for PyNSC. Now to install, you need to open the link given in the description. Copy this command pip install git plus link for repository. Paste onto terminal, press enter and let the installation complete. Sometimes you might face the git error, cannot find command git. In that case, first you need to install git using conda. For that type conda install git, press enter to install. Restart your system and then install PyNSC using pip. Since git is already installed on my system and there is no need to install it again, so I am cancelling this. Both of the installation commands are also given in video description. Once this pip install task completes, PyNSC is installed and ready to use. Now to use PyNSC, open the IDE of your choice, preferably either Jupyter Notebook or Visual Studio Code, because both of they support interactive Python. If you are using Jupyter Notebook, make sure that you have set the right environment where we install PyNSC. I am using Visual Studio Code. To set the environment, press Shift Ctrl plus P and select the right environment where we installed PyNSC. Now create a new file. To save it as Jupyter Notebook, the extension of file should be .ipynb. I am naming it as pynsc.ipynb and open the notebook. Now let us import the required packages. From PyNSC, import star, import date time, import logging. For the purpose of debugging, this complete PyNSC library is equipped with Python's logging module. If you want to display the logs, you need to set the desired logging level. To configure the logging, type logging.basicconfig level equals logging.debug. For the purpose of demonstration and to show what's really going behind the scenes, I have set the logging level to debug. If you want lesser logs to be displayed, you can change the logging level to info or critical. There is only one class NSC in this complete PyNSC library, although there are some more enumerated constants which basically makes the method argument to be more precisely defined, makes the code less prone to error and faster auto completion. Now let's initialize the NSC class. Type NSC equals NSC and run the shell. For the first time, it will take some time to download the required data. Do not stop the download in between or it will break the initialization. If you accidentally stop, just open your user directory, delete the folder .pynsc, restart the notebook and let the download to finish. Now the first method in NSC is market status. It returns the status of all the markets in NSC at present time in a dictionary format, whether the market is closed, pre-open session, regular trading hours, after market, and value of index if market has any index. To get status, type NSC dot market status and run the cell. We can see the present market status. Right now all the markets in NSC are open, and for the capital market we can see the value of index Nifty 50, variation and percentage change. For other markets, since there is no index, the only useful info is market status. Next method is info. If you want to get the information about a symbol, you have to use nsc.info. You need to pass argument symbol which is of string type, and value it returns is a dictionary with symbol information. Let's try that. Type nsc.info, symbol SVIN. The symbol should be uppercase, but if you pass the lowercase, it will automatically change to uppercase. Run the cell and it will return a dictionary with symbol information like company name, industry, active series, etc. If you enter invalid symbol, a symbol that is not present in NSC, it will raise value error saying not a valid symbol. Now let's try to get information for a symbol XYZ and run. Now you can see that the error, this is not a valid symbol. But if you try to get info for a valid symbol, let's say TCS, info for that will be returned. Next method is get quote, and this is all in one method to get the latest price quote for equity futures and options. It returns a dictionary with latest price quote along with some other information. Let us try to get quote for Eicher Motors. Type nsc.getQuote. Accepted arguments are symbol which should be of string type. Again, if you enter invalid symbol, it will raise value error. Segment is of segment type, which is equity by default. That means if you don't specify segment, it will return quote for the equity. Enter symbol as Eicher Mot and run the cell. Now you can see the quote with last price, change, percentage change, open and intraday high low, volume, VWAP for the day, weekly high low and the date on which weekly high low occurred, timestamp, delivery quantity, delivery to traded percentage. This seems like the best information for the stock which you can get from a single source. Delivery percentage is what I always monitor when day is ending because it is not provided in any broker's chart. If price is near major support or resistance, then delivery percentage can give you major insight. If you are using automated trading, you can monitor the price where it is with respect to weekly range and add to your watch list as the price goes close to that range. Now to download the code for futures, you need to pass argument segment as segment.foot. Let's try downloading the Reliance futures for current expiry. Type nsc.getcode, symbol Reliance and segment.foot. Hope you are getting how much effortlessly you can pass the argument with these enumerated constants. Now we don't know the expiry, that's okay, so let it be the default value none and run the cell. Now we can see Reliance futures code with timestamp, volume, LTP, OHLC, previous close, open interest, change in open interest, number of contracts, etc. Now since we have the code, the expiry dates for Reliance futures are also updated and we can get the list of expiry dates by accessing expiry list attribute from NSC. For that type nsc.expiry list and run the cell and we can see the expiry date for Reliance futures. Expiry dates in this list are always in ascending order. Now you can select expiry from this expiry list and request a quote again for a specific expiry date. And same goes for options expiry and strike list. Once get quote without expiry and strike and then select the expiry from expiry list and request a quote once again. I hope you are getting the trick and how efficiently you can get the expiry dates and strike prices. Most of the users who have just read the documentation are busy creating a separate function for all these things. In all of my videos, I will always make sure that I explain such tips and tricks which will make your algo trading and backtesting skill to reach pro level. Let's try downloading the real-time code for Nifty options. Type nsc.getcode, symbol Nifty, segment.opt. We don't know the expiry date, we don't know what strike prices are there, default option type call. Just run once and let's see what we get. We see that we get code for current expiry 22nd April and strike price is 12,800. So if no expiry date is specified, we get the data for current expiry. It can be weekly or monthly and lowest strike price available in that expiry. Now we can access the expiry. Notice the difference between expiry dates for Reliance options and Nifty options. For Reliance only monthly expiry, but for Nifty weekly expiries are also there. We can also access strike list for current symbol Nifty. For that run nsc.strike list and we can see the list of strike prices for Nifty. Here one thing to note is that all strike prices are not available for every expiry date and strike list might be different for each expiry. So to avoid index error, strike prices are filtered by expiry date and sometimes even after that can happen while requesting deep OTM and deep ITM strikes. So take care for that. Now coming back to the point, if you want to request code for a specific expiry, you can do that by specifying argument expiry in getCode. It's a datetime.date object and run this once again. In this way you can get the real-time code for desired expiry date. With that you can see the list of strike prices also get filtered for that expiry. You can also request quote for a specific strike by specifying strike price. Let's get quote for Nifty put and 16,000 strike. Specify option type .pe, strike 16,000 and run. We got an error. Might be a possibility that no data is available for this criteria. Let's try changing option type and run once again. This time we got the quote we requested. So 16,000 call data is available but put data is not. I hope this error made clear what I explained in previous point. Again try once more for 22nd April expiry and 14,500 put. Option type .pe, run and we get the code for this. You can see that how this all-in-one real-time code method works and how efficiently you can get the expiry dates and strike prices. So with that this get code method is complete. Next is Bhav Copy. With PyNSC you can also download Bhav Copy for cash as well as derivatives. We will discuss both of the methods one by one. For cache, there is a method bhavcopy. It returns bhavcopy in pandas data frame. To download bhavcopy, type nsc.bhavcopy. Optionally, you can pass argument required date, which is a datetime.date object, and series, which is equity by default. Run once. If no required date is specified, it will return the latest available bhavcopy from NSC website. Since Bhavcopy is EOD data, so if you download the Bhavcopy once, it will get saved on the system. If you request the same Bhavcopy again, the one which is on the system will be read and returned. All this being handled automatically by PyNSC. In this way, it reduces the traffic and increases the speed. This will be more clear if we request Bhavcopy for an older date. Let's request the Bhavcopy for 1st of April. We see that this time Bhavcopy is downloaded from NSC website. Request it once again and this time we see that Bhavcopy is read from the disk and no data is downloaded from NSC website. This is also true for derivatives Bhavcopy. To request Bhavcopy for derivatives, type nsc.bhavcopy fno, optionally the date, run and you will get the Bhavcopy either by downloading or reading from disk. You can request the Bhavcopy for a specific date by passing date as argument, same as we did for cache Bhavcopy. Let's request Bhavcopy for 2nd of April. We got an error because 2nd of April was a holiday due to Good Friday. Let's try for 7th of April. And we got the data for derivatives Bhavcopy. You can also request Bhavcopy for expired contracts. There is no limitation on it from NSC. And if you request same Bhavcopy again, it will be read from disk. Next method in PyNS is pre-open data and it returns a pandas data frame. Pre-open data is very useful if you are trading hook days. A hook day is basically open beyond yesterday's range. Maybe in the next video I will explain how we can trade or backtest hook days or any price action strategy using Backtrader or Bear Python class. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Coming back to the point, to request pre-open data simply type nsc.preopen and run the cell. It will return pre-open data for all the stocks in pandas data frame. Next method in PyNS is option chain method. If you are an options trader, I hope you know the significance of option chain. You can get hell lot of insights using it. Although most of the discriminacy trader prefer not to use option Greeks, but an algo trader sometimes or most of the times need these things. Popular apps like QuantSap uses the data from option chain to drive the insights such as long short build-up, put call ratio, max pain, max gain, and some of options trader uses it to calculate probability of hitting a particular strike price. If you have option chain on your fingertips or with you in Python, you can also do that, but we will learn that sometime later since this is advanced stuff and we haven't covered basics yet. Let's try downloading option chain for Nifty. Type nsc.optionchain symbol Nifty. Now run the cell and we get the option chain for Nifty for current expiry. You can also request option chain for a specific expiry. If no expiry date is specified, data for the current expiry is returned. Once you request option chain for a symbol, the expiry list attribute in NSC also gets updated and you can access the list of expiry dates in the same way as we did in the getQuote method. To request the option chain for a specific expiry, pass the date of expiry as an argument. To get the option chain for Bank Nifty, set symbol Bank Nifty and run the cell and we get the option chain for Bank Nifty. Similar to expiry list of strike prices also gets updated and you can access by nsc.strike list. Next is FII and DII data. The activity of FII and DII provides overall view of the market. Basically what smart money did today, did they buy or did they sell and how much. To download the data type nsc.fiidii and run the cell. It returns data in a pandas data frame and this works only for the latest available data on NSC website. Historical data for FII, DII is not available to download. Next method in PyNS is for historical data, a very useful one. It returns OHLC data on daily time frame in a pandas data frame format. To download the data for any stock, let's say Infosys, type nsc.gethist, symbol name infi, and run the cell. If no from and to dates are specified, it returns data for latest 10 days. There isn't any limit how much data you can request. Any length of the data you can download in a one single request. To download the data for a specific period, let's say from date time dot date 2021 1 2 date time dot date 2021 4 20 as from date and to date and run. This way you can download the data for any period that is available from NSC. One thing to note is that the data you get using this method is not a adjusted data. So make sure to adjust this data before backtesting or doing any kind of analysis. Or if you want the adjusted data or the data for intraday time frames, you can do that using TV data feed, a TradingView Python API which lets you to download the data for approximately 20 years on daily time frame if that's available for that symbol. Not only NSC but all the symbols and exchanges available on TradingView. You can view the TV data feed tutorial using this link on your screen where I explained complete installation and usage instructions for the TV data feed library. Now back to where we were at the historical data method. Since this data is in pandas data frame, we can also plot this data. For that, let's first store this data into a variable infidata and now type infidata.close.plot and run. We are getting so much debug output because plotting also uses logging in the backend. This is for the first time, so run once again and we get the line plot of infidata. You can also plot candlestick charts using MPL Finance. For that, type import MPL Finance as MPF. To plot, type mpf.plot infidata and run. This is the default bar chart. To plot the candlesticks, set type to candle and style to Yahoo and run. Since volume is also available, so to plot volume, set volume equals true. And we can see the nice candlestick charts along with volume bars. You can display more number of candles if you need. Next method in PyNS is get index value. Real-time index value cannot be get through getQuote method. For that you need to use get indices. To get real-time value for Bank Nifty, type nsc.getIndices, index symbol dot Bank Nifty and run, and we get the data in pandas data frame. Next ones are top gainers and top losers method. These methods are also very useful ones. Let's try both one by one. First is top gainers. To get the top gainers, type nsc.topgainers and run. By default, it returns top 10 gainers in pandas data frame format for the symbols listed in FNO. We can also change that. To get the top 10 gainers from Nifty 50 symbols, pass the argument index symbol dot Nifty 50 and run. And we see that the top 10 gainers list, which is filtered by Nifty 50 stocks. To change the number of stocks, pass the argument length, let's say 5 and run. Or to get the more number of stocks in this list. In this way you can change the number of stocks you get. And this is also true for the top losers. To get the top losers, type nsc.toplosers and run. You get the list of top losers for this index. This way you can get the list of top gainers and top losers in any NSE index. Now the main methods in PyNSC that helps you to get the data from NSC website are complete. There are two additional methods which you don't need to run frequently. Let's see both one by one. First is to update the symbol list. PyNSC has built-in symbols validation for index, such as if you try to get option chain for a symbol that isn't listed in FNO, or you are trying to get the data for a symbol that is not present in NSC, you will get an error that this is not a valid symbol. We have seen this earlier. But when any additional company is listed on NSC or constituents of an index are changed or any symbol is added or removed from FNO list, in such case you need to update the list of symbols. But that doesn't happen every day, maybe once a month or 6 months. In such case you need to update the list of symbols. To update the list of symbols, type nsc.update symbols list and run. You see that all the list of indexes and their constituents are being updated. It will take some time to complete. Don't run this too frequently or you might get blocked by NSC. And next method is for clearing the data. To enhance the speed and for traffic optimization, PyNSC saves the end of day data to home folder. And if you initialize, then it also notifies that how much space is being utilized. Right now 5.5 MB is utilized by PyNSC. Maybe after a few months either you are low on disk space or you need to clear the PyNSC data. This is where the clear data method is helpful. For that, type nsc.clear data and run the cell. Now the PyNSC data is clear, and in order to use again, you need to reinitialize the NSC class. Again, you don't need to run this too frequently. Do this only when either something is broken or you are running low on disk space. Usually having more data slows down the system or API, but this is not the case with PyNSC because accessing the data from disk is usually faster than downloading from any website. With that, I have explained the complete PyNSC library, and you must have got a fair idea how this library works. Although the data is either EOD or real time, not for intraday time intervals, but again, for a trader, this data is very useful and definitely going to put you much ahead of the crowd if you know how to analyze the data, which we will also learn in the coming tutorials. In the description, you can find the download links for the resources used in this video. And also, if you face any difficulty or you want to give your feedback, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and good luck.